No matter which persona of Alexa Bliss you like, you're probably here because you're a Bliss fit. So, grab that cup of coffee and let's get ready for facts you may not know about Little Miss Bliss. Alexa Bliss made her WWE debut for NXT on May the 8th, 2014. But did you know her attire was actually a cheerleading outfit? Legitimately, Alexa's been on record to say she didn't know at the time where people bought wrestling gear, so she went to what she knew and went out and bought a cheerleading outfit, and hopefully it passed as wrestling attire. I think, for one, she did a really good job. But wrestling in the WWE was not the first time that Alexa made a name for herself. Her first big public appearances actually came around in the bodybuilding world. I bet some of you didn't know that. Alexa would begin bodybuilding training in only 2010, which is quite remarkable that in her very first tournament, she placed first and won championships and trophies about bodybuilding, and even went all the way to become a professional in 2011, with her biggest appearance being placed 14th in the annual Arnold Schwarzenegger bodybuilding competition, revealing later on the Talk is Jericho podcast that once the bodybuilding stuff was starting to come to an end, she didn't take it too seriously, and she started to flare up her outfits, in her words, making them a little bit more risque, and of course adding a bit more jazz to them to get the scores up with the audience, but not necessarily with the judges. It's pretty obvious where the name Alexa come from. Her first name is Alexis. Makes sense. But what about the in-ring surname of Bliss? Where the hell did that come from? Well,
bless your heart.
I think fans always thought Alexa was saying bless your heart. In fact, she was meant to be saying bless your heart, but her accent made it sound like bliss your heart. And in promo school and everything like that at the Performance Center, it kind of stuck. WWE liked the idea and they called her Alexa Bliss. What could have been? Alexa Bliss's WWE career and the aforementioned bodybuilding career are complete worlds apart from her suffering an eating disorder in early life. In early life, she went down that debilitating mental health eating disorder route, and good for her for pulling herself out of it. And amazing work on what she does now, being an advocate for mental health and a role model for people going through the same things she went through in early life. Honestly, a massive inspiration to anyone who's going through that. And hopefully shows a lot of people that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, that you can still be anything you want to be in life. Alexa herself did just that and became a WWE superstar. However, before she was a WWE superstar, WWE did toy with the idea of Alexa being a ring announcer down in NXT. Of course, this happened in November 2013, before she made her official NXT debut. Thank God they let her wrestle in the end, right? Hard to imagine the former WWE Women's Champion not joining Bray Wyatt in the Firefly funhouse and doing all the recent stuff she's been doing on WWE TV. Now, whether it was entering WrestleMania 34 as the Raw Women's Champion or sharing a stage with Hulk Hogan on the WrestleMania that she was the host of, Alexa Bliss has had great WrestleMania moments. But did you know her very first WrestleMania moment came in 2014, WrestleMania 30, when she joined Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair to help alongside Triple H's entrance for the event? Little known fact for you there. Now in WWE, we have seen Alexa Bliss don outfits inspired by horror legend Freddy Krueger, and of course more known, the Harley Quinn gimmick. Did you know she never actually sought permission to wear the Harley Quinn gimmick? It was something she was ready to apologise for, but instead just went for it anyway. But luckily WWE loved it, and of course they continued it for the time that they did. It's also the reason that Alexa Bliss will hold a WWE Championship the way she does. It is still a little nod to the Harley Quinn character that she once played, actually suggested to her by former partner Buddy Murphy. But if you are a massive fan of Alexa Bliss, you know for a fact that she is inspired by Disney. If you follow her on Twitter or Instagram, she is forever posting pictures of her at Disneyland, and who can blame her? Disney's great. But we have seen that inspiration come into WWE TV. Of course, recently on the Firefly Funhouse, they did the Alice in Wonderland Mad Hatter's Tea Party, and of course there's a little bit of a nod there as well. But Alexa Bliss has spoken on record about her Firefly Funhouse character and where she got the inspiration for it, where she takes like ideas for the mannerisms and things like that. Believe it or not, was a television show she watched as a child called The Big Comfy Couch. Now, I've never heard of it. I'm in the UK. I think it's probably an American thing. But just looking at the picture, you can definitely see someone bright, happy, colourful, very energetic, just like a Firefly Funhouse character. But the demon side of Alexa Bliss was an inspiration from the Haunted Mansion, the way people would walk stoically and talk stoically, and they wouldn't make eye contact, and they would be forever quiet, and they would just be slow in their movements. It's great to know that someone can take something they've seen on television shows and make something great of a new character in professional wrestling. It's something we've seen in pro wrestling with wrestlers for decades. WWE gave Alexa Bliss the accolade of being the first woman to say they held the Raw Women's Championship and the SmackDown Women's Championship. And while now other women can say they've achieved that, Alexa Bliss was the first, and WWE will forever remember her as the first. The first at anything in WWE is a massive accomplishment. There's certainly no doubt that Alexa Bliss has accomplished a lot in WWE, whether it is winning championships or standing out in a 4 horsewomen-dominated WWE. WWE have themselves done a very good job of positioning Alexa Bliss for her character today. Whether it's friendship turned feud with Nia Jax, friendship turned feud with Mickie James, or recently friendship turned feud with Nikki Cross, those past experiences are surely going to come into play when Alexa Bliss's Funhouse character starts going on its own path and maybe starts telling its own story and her story of revenge on people who have wronged her. And with Bray Wyatt, the master genius, in her ear, surely that's the way WWE is now going. And no one can deny seeing Alexa Bliss on the top of that totem pole is where she deserves to be. So there you go. Did you know everything we spoke about on this video about Alexa Bliss? Let me know in the comment section down below. As we continue to watch Alexa Bliss completely revolutionize wrestling, I'm sure in the future we'll be talking a lot more about Little Miss Bliss. Make sure you like the video, share the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Follow me on Twitter at CWrestlingUK, and I'll see you next time. Peace!